Georgia Milestones Review Packet. Number 1, -5 raised to the third power. That's when it's not in parentheses. This is saying the opposite of 5 times 5 times 5. 5 to the third power is 125. The opposite of that is -125. 4 to the -2nd power. Whenever you have a negative exponent, you have to cross the pendulum. So that's 1/4 squared. And 4 squared is 16, so your answer is 1/16. When you raise a power to a power, you have to multiply your exponents. 3 times 4 is 12. So that's n to the 12th power. When you are multiplying exponents with the same base, you keep the base and add the exponents. 3 plus -5 is -2. And when you have a negative exponent, you cross the pendulum to make it positive. So your answer is 1/b squared. Number 5, combine like terms. 4 and -10y is -6y. 3x and 7x is positive 10x. For number 6, -3m and -4m is -7m. And -8v and positive 5v is -3v. So -7m minus 3v. For number 7, we need to distribute first. That's -12h plus 6p plus 5h. Then combine like terms. -12h plus 5h is -7h plus 6p. Number 8, the square root of 75 is 8.7. Number 9, 2 times the square root of 48 is 13.9. Number 10, the square root of 72 is 8.5. Alright, number 11, solve -5m plus 8 equals 2m plus 29. Add 5m to both sides. 8 equals 7m plus 29. Subtract 29 from both sides. -21 equals 7m. Divide by 7. M is -3. Number 12, distribute. -4 times 3k is -12k. -4 times 5 is -20. Bring everything else down. Add 12k to both sides. -20 equals -4k. Divide by -4. And k is positive 5. For 13, 1/5 times 15j is 3j. 1/5 times -25 is -5. 2/3 times 12 is 8. 2/3 times -15 is -10. 8 minus 10 is -2. Add 5 to both sides. And 3j equals 3. When you divide by 3, you get that j equals 1. For number 14, add 2 to both sides. You solve these, this is 7th grade math, solve these exactly how you do a regular equation. Divide by -2. When you divide by -2, remember you have to turn your sign the other way. So that's 5 is less than m. If it's only less than or just greater than, it doesn't have the equal to underneath it, then it's an open circle. And 5 is the least amount. So you have to shade everything that's bigger than 5. For number 15, 3/4 times 24 is 18. 3/4 times 8 is -6y. Less than or equal to 15y minus 24. Solve. You are going to add 6y to both sides. And that gives you 18 is less than or equal to 21y minus 24. Add 24 to both sides. 42 is less than or equal to 21y. And when you divide by 21, you get that 2 is less than or equal to y. So you're going to circle and fill in the 2. And y is bigger than the 2, so shade everything to the right. For number 16, add 8 to both sides, and w divided by 3 is less than or equal to negative 2. Multiply by 2 on both sides, and w is less than or equal to negative 4. So circle and fill in negative 4, and shade everything that's less than that. Alright, number 17 through 19, we're going to use the graph. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to list out each point for the original coordinates. D is at 1, 3. E is at 5, 3. F is at 7, negative 1. And G is at 1, negative 1. For 17, if the quadrilateral is reflected across the y-axis, your y stays the same, and you take the opposite of your x. So D prime is negative 1, 3. E prime is negative 5, 3. F prime is negative 7, negative 1. And G prime is negative 1, negative 1. For 18, if you reflect it across the x-axis, your x stays the same, and you take the opposite of your y. So D is 1, negative 3. E is 5, negative 3. F is 7, positive 1. And G is 1, 1. For 19, if we rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, we flip the numbers and change the sign of the second number. So D is 3, negative 1. E is 3, negative 5. F is negative 1, negative 7. And G is negative 1, negative 1. 20, point A is located at the coordinate negative 3, negative 5. If the point is rotated 180 degrees, the signs do not change. I mean, the numbers do not flip, but you just change the sign. So it becomes positive 3, positive 5. Change the sign of both numbers. And 21, point J is located at the coordinate 6, negative 2. If it's rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise, flip the number, change the sign of the first coordinate. So that becomes 2, 6. Alright, on the back, find the missing length for each right triangle. A squared plus B squared equals the hypotenuse squared. That gives me 400. And the square root of 400 is 20. Number 23, 30 squared plus B squared equals 50 squared. Square each number and then subtract, and you will get 40. 30 squared is 900, and 50 squared is 2500. And when you subtract those, B squared is 1600, and the square root is 40. For number 24, 10 squared plus B squared equals 15 squared. 100 squared plus B squared equals 225. Subtract 100. B squared equals 125. And the square root of 125 is 11.2. And for 25, A squared plus 9 squared equals 12 squared. That's 81 and 144. Bring everything else down. When you subtract 100 and take the square root, you'll get 7.9. Alright, for number 26, which line represents a proportional relationship? We are not worried about this. Scratch that out. For 27, write an equation for the line A. line A intersects at the y-axis at 0, so the y-intercept is 0. The slope, we're going up 1 to the right 1. So y equals 1 over 1, which is 1, x plus 0. If 1 is your coefficient, then you do not write it. So that becomes y equals x. And if your y-intercept is 0, then you don't write it. So your answer is y equals x. For 28, write an equation for line B in the slope-intercept form. It crosses the y-axis at 3, so B is 3. We go down 1 to the right 1, so that's negative 1 over 1. Y equals negative 1x plus 3. Negative 1 times x is just going to give us negative x plus 3. Alright, for the last ones on this page, decide whether each relation below is a function or not and explain your reason. For 29, this is a function, yes, because each input has only one output. For 30, it is not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test. If you draw a vertical line, it touches in more than one spot. For 31, it is not a function because 3 goes to 0 and 4, so 3 repeats. Number 32, yes, it passes the vertical line test. No matter where you draw a vertical line, you're only going to cross the graph one time, so that is a function. For 33, it is not a function because 4 repeats. It goes to the 2 and the 3. 34, even though it barely looks like it, it does pass the vertical line test, so this is a function. For 35, x does not repeat, so that is a function. And for 36, each input goes to only one output, so that is a function. Please see the other video for the last half of our review packet.